Hi, I'm Private Bostic from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm here at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, finishing up my training here. I got a question from Josh from Oklahoma. He asked, after your first haircut, do you have to continue shaving it off or can you let it grow out again? Within the first 72 hours after you get here at your basic training site, you'll get your first haircut. After that, every 2 weeks, you will have to have it cut again until the completion of your basic training.
Hi, I'm Private Francis from the Highlands, New Jersey, and I'm going to answer a question from Tiffany from Phelps, New York. The question is, did you ever feel like you weren't strong enough for the Army challenges? There are certain days where you feel like you can't make it or something's too hard or a task isn't going your way, but your fellow comrades are there to help you and push you in the right direction and build your confidence so you're more motivated to continue the task.
Hello, my name is Specialist Bradley Whitlock. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I'm answering a question from Adelio from Houston, Texas. Adelio's question is, do the drill instructors scream right at your face like in military movies? For the most part, they never get in your face unless you do something that's dangerous to one of your battle buddies, or if you are just being disrespectful and not following your Army values. Other than that, they pretty much keep their distance. They will still get on you, but as far as getting in your face and in your personal space, they don't do it unless you're disrespectful.
Hey, I'm Private Stafford from Hawkinsville, Kentucky, and I have a question here from Sam from Marysville, Ohio. Do the drill sergeants yell at the recruits most of the time? Well, Sam, it depends on who your drill sergeants are and what you do. When you first get off the bus, it's a little intense because you don't really know what's going on, and there's so many people and everyone's yelling. Yes, it's going to happen. And if you do something ridiculous, of course you're going to get yelled at, but as long as you stay where you are and do whatever you're told, you won't get in trouble and you won't get yelled at most of the time.
Hi, I'm Private Angelita Nagger from Erie, Pennsylvania, and I'm answering a question from Annam from Moultrie, Georgia. His question is, do you get paid in basic training, and would you be able to send money back home to pay bills? Yes, you do get paid in basic training. Depending on your rank, you get paid a certain amount of money. You get paid on the 1st and 15th of every month, and you can send money home if you have checks or cash in the mail.
Private First Class Jacory Cannon from Edison, Georgia, and I'm answering a question today from Tiffany, who's from San Antonio, Texas. She asks, do you have any advice for someone who wants to join but doesn't know how to bring it up to a parent? Joining the Army isn't a bad thing. Your parents, I'm sure, will support you if you bring it up to them the right way. Just let them know your reason, and I'm sure they'll just want to make sure that your reasons are just before you join. They don't want you joining just because you feel like you're obligated to, because you're not. It's a choice, and it's an honorable decision to make. So you shouldn't be afraid to bring it up to your parents. I'm sure they'll understand your reasons why.
Hello, I'm Private Enos, and I'm from Gents Beach, Florida. And Caitlin from Webster, Florida said, do you have any problems going through basic training? Well, as you can tell with that big tower over there, yes I did. I'm terrified of heights, and it took me all day just to get down. So yes, I did have a problem with heights.
My name is Private Janessa Shaw from Rockford, Illinois. My question today will be answered from Michael from Romeoville, Illinois. His question is, for basic combat training, how many pairs of clothes would I bring? My advice to Michael would be to bring as little as possible. 1 change of clothes, 1 pajamas for the night at MEPS. You'll be at the reception. You'll be in ACUs the rest of the time you're basic combat training.
I'm Staff Sergeant Kevin Barnett. I'm a drill sergeant here at Fort Leonard Wood, and I'll be answering a question from Raymond from Holly Glen, California. How many pull-ups do you have to do? Do you have to pass it to graduate? We don't have pull-ups in the Army. You will be doing pull-ups for PT, but you don't have to do a certain amount to graduate basic training.
Hi, I'm Private Craig Miller from Jacksonville, Florida, and Amy from Durham, North Carolina wants to know, how much contact do family members have while in basic training? Family members don't usually get that much contact with you. They're allowed to write as many letters as they want. You can respond. It just takes about as long as it takes for the mail to get to you. You get your phone depending on your drill sergeant. Probably once a month, sometimes two. It really depends. Towards the end of the cycle, though, it usually plans out. You get it used about once a week.
I'm Private Nicholas Springup from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Mark from Radcliffe, Kentucky asks, how much does the equipment weigh that you have to carry? Mark, there's a different variety of stuff we have to carry a lot of the time. We either carry full battle rattle, which is our body armor, a vest and an assault packer or something like that, and that weighs about 35 pounds overall. And then there's also a rucksack that we have to carry. We do that for long marches, and that can weigh from anywhere from like 55 to 80 pounds.
I'm Private Eric Torres from Pittsburgh, California, here at basic training in Fort Benning, Georgia. James from Bothell, Washington asked, how should I prepare myself for basic training? Besides running and doing push-ups and sit-ups, the one thing I would think that you need to do before coming to basic is a lot of hiking. We do ruck marches here, so I wish I could have had a chance to get some of that in before coming. But yeah, maybe backpacking or hiking with the backpack on.
Hello, my name is Specialist Zach Webb from Anderson, Indiana, and I'm answering a question from Keith from Jacksonville, Florida. Keith asks, I'm 20 and looking to join the Army to become a better person. Do you think this is a good idea? Keith, that reason to join the United States Army is, in my opinion, the best. The Army during basic training will teach you the 7 Army values: leadership, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. You'll spend 1 week during basic training learning each of these Army values. And as long as you commit yourself to learning them, learning from your drill sergeants and even the other trainees, you'll become a better person. And through your time in the Army, during your career, you will become the person that you want to be, the person that the people in your family and your friends believe that you can be. So Keith, good luck to you, and I wish you the best on your journey in joining the United States Army.
My name is Private Thomas Hawkins from Starville, Mississippi, and I'm answering the question for Jasmine from Dothan, Alabama. Her question was, is basic training hard, and are the drill sergeants tough? Basic training is as tough and as hard as you make it, and the drill sergeants are tough on you. But they're only tough on you because they want you to meet a certain standard. And if you meet that standard, or you try to push yourself past that standard, basic training becomes a lot less difficult for you. But it's not a cakewalk. If you push yourself past the standard or whatnot, everything will become a lot more easier for you. You join the military, not the Cub Scouts, so push yourself and you will excel.
My name is Drill Sergeant Larry Jameson, stationed at Fort Knox, Kentucky. And Patrick from Manchester, Kentucky asks, is basic training hard or easy if you're in great shape? Well, Patrick, if you're in great shape, then basic training will be slightly easier for you, as PT won't be as much of a challenge. You still have to learn all our exercises and the way we do them. And there's so much more to BCT than just physical training. It's a mental aspect. You have to ask yourself how good of a team player you are, how well you're willing to deal with sleep deprivation and long, hard hours. So you'll have an advantage being in better shape, and I recommend anybody who want to join the Army get themselves in a better shape. There's so much more to it than just physical training.
Private Dorsey, I'm answering a question here from Antoinette from Jacksonville. Is basic training the same for males and females? Yes, basic training is exactly the same for males and females. If they drop and do 25, we drop and do 25. If we run 2 miles, they run 2 miles. If we have to jump over a 20-foot wall, they're jumping over a 20-foot wall. Everything is the same for males and females.
I'm Private Trisha Barabin from Paia, Maui, Hawaii, and I'm answering a question from Gennardo from Pensacola, Florida. Is there a difference between Army Reserve basic training and active duty basic training? Well, Gennardo, everybody trains together. Active, Reserve, and the National Guard.
BB2 Michael Lyons from South Boston, Massachusetts. The question I was asked was, I'd like to know how your MOS is selected or chosen. When you go to MEPS, after you get everything done with the doctor and what have you, and you take your ASVAB, you go into a room with any civilian or any other military personnel, and they'll type up according to your ASVAB and your GT score. They'll type up the options you have for your MOS. They'll briefly explain them to you, or if you want them, they can go in depth with it, and you can choose from there.
Hello, my name is Caleb Prosser, Private Caleb Prosser, answering a question by Kim from Libertyville, Illinois. Her question is, I have a 17-year-old son getting ready to come to BCT. Of course, I'm worried about him, but it is his age that I'm concerned about. The recruiter said he was one of the youngest he's ever taken. My son is happy with his decision, but is a little scared too. Do you have any advice for him? or me? My advice to Kim is, I also am kind of in the same situation. My mom obviously is worried about me, but not so much me as my little brother. I have a little brother who is 17 years old, and he is joining fresh out of high school. He graduates in June, and then he goes straight to basic training. I joined ahead of my little brother because I wanted to kind of test the waters myself, and I've always been interested in it. So we kind of joined together, but because I'm older, I got to leave before him. This is going to help me because I can go home and tell my mom and reassure her that it's not anything to really worry about. It's a very good experience. I believe that it's going to be good for me and my brother for our futures. It teaches me a lot, I know, and I'm sure it'll teach my little brother as it will teach your son, Kim.
I'm Specialist Justin Lester from Akron, Ohio, and I'm answering a question from Jakaria from Fort Lauderdale. And the question is, what's a reason that a recruit might not graduate basic training besides not meeting physical requirements? I would say basically not following the Army values, mainly two of them, discipline and respect. If you have the discipline to follow the rules and do what you're told, then you'll get through basic training pretty easily. And if you respect your battle buddies, your drill sergeants, and your cadre, there's nothing to worry about, and you'll get through basic training with ease. You'll be out of here in 10 weeks.
My name is Private James Stevenson. I'm from Cedar Hill, Tennessee, and I'll be answering a question from Jenica from Houston, Texas. Her question is, what's the hardest obstacle in basic training, and does overcoming it make you a completely different person when you graduate? The hardest obstacle in basic training is usually yourself. Throughout all the training, from physical training to learning how to shoot your weapon correctly, as long as you keep confidence and believe in yourself, then you can do anything that they give you to do here. They're not going to give you anything that will harm you in any way. And as far as when I graduate, I feel a lot more confident in my abilities, and can't is not a part of my vocabulary anymore.
I'm Private Heather Diven from Baltimore, Maryland. This question's for Grace from South Lake Tahoe. She wanted to know what's the hardest part of basic and why. It's dealing with all the other people around you because of the cultures and the different personalities clash.
I'm PFC Kyle Kuharski from Flower Mound, Texas. I got a question here from Daniel Sellersberg from Indiana. What's the hardest part of basic training, and what's the daily schedule look like? Well, Daniel, the hardest part of basic training is probably the mental part. Being away from all your friends and family from home for 9 weeks, it's pretty difficult. And then the daily schedule it's pretty simple. You wake up at 4:30, do all your personal hygienes and be in formation by 5. So you have 30 minutes to get ready in the morning. Then from 5 to about 6:30, do PT, which can be running, push-ups, sit-ups, all that. Then you go to chow. After chow, you come back, change into your uniform like this, what I'm wearing. Go do whatever training it is for the day. May eat lunch out in the field, may eat lunch in the chow hall again. Come back from training, go to dinner, and then sit around and clean the barracks all day, and maybe get a letter written for your mom or family back at home.
I'm Private Ethan Faxon. I'm from Manchester, Vermont. I'll be answering a question from Kristen from Shawsville, Virginia. She asked, what are the first 3 weeks like in basic? How long does it take to get used to routine? And in my opinion, what is the hardest thing about basic? The first 3 weeks like in basic is all about attention to detail, the little stuff. When a drill sergeant tells you what to do or gives you a block of instructions, you need to listen and follow those instructions out to the fullest. Now, how long does it get into routine? It varies from soldier to soldier. One person may have a quick time and easy time doing it, while the other, it may take a little bit longer. And then in my opinion, the hardest part about basic is the ruck march for me. It was about 10 miles with 65 pounds on your back at a good pace. But as long as you keep motivated and keep your pace good, you'll make it.
This is Private Alex Mock from Beverly, Massachusetts, and I'm stationed here at Fort Benning, Georgia for basic training.
Alex from Monroe, New York asked, what can I do to mentally, physically, and emotionally prepare myself to become a soldier? Mentally, you just have to have the mindset that you're coming in here to do this for yourself. Emotionally, you just have to be tough. And physically, just coming in here knowing that you have to give 100% every day, doing push-ups and sit-ups and running.
Hi, my name is Private First Class Lance Brower. I'm here to answer a couple of questions today. David from Jonesboro, Arkansas asks, what do you recommend I bring with me to basic? Bring the necessities, toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant. They're probably going to tell you not to bring your cell phone. I would bring it anyways. You never know, you might get the chance to use it. Otherwise, it's just the common sense items that you would most likely need with you as you travel.
My name is Private Nowak from Stratford, Wisconsin, and this goes to Taylor from Big Fork, Montana. Your question is, what is it like inside the gas chamber? Well, you'll go in there with your mask on and make sure it works properly, see how it can work for you, and after a while you'll take it off and be exposed to the CS gas, and you'll cough a little bit, makes your nose run, your eyes tear up, and they'll have you do some things there to make sure you're keeping your composure, and then they'll let you out. You gotta walk around, walk it off for about 5 minutes. It lasts when you're out of there. I thought it was pretty fun. A lot of people, they think it's fun when they're done, but when you're going through it, it's not the best, but it's good. It'll be over with though.
Hi, I'm Private Melendez from Palmdale, California, and I'm answering a question from Ronald from Springland Valley, California. And your question is, what is your biggest fear about basic training? Well, my biggest fear throughout training was actually getting injured. If you get injured throughout basic training and you go to the hospital and they put you on profile, they'll put you on a set of days, call it a week or two, you missing training. And if during those weeks, if you miss any important training, you'll have to redo them. So basically is try to take care of yourself, try not to get injured, and do your best during basic training. That's all.
Private Jonathan McClanahan from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm answering a question from Dylan from Easy, South Carolina. His question was, what is the hardest part about going into the Army? Well, Dylan, the hardest part is kind of adapting overall. You're going to be told what you need to do. You just got to do it. Mentally, physically, it doesn't matter. You can be the most out of shape person. You'll be put into shape when you get here. You may mentally not be into it. Your drill sergeants will get you into the military attitude, military way of life. Your background also will depend on a little bit. If you're not a person that likes to work hard, you may not adapt as easy as someone else that, outgoing person, likes to get things done, always on top of their stuff. That's about it.
I'm Private Nelson Merigman from Honolulu, Hawaii, and Max from Trenton, Ohio would like to know what kind of meals we eat in basic training. Normally in basic training we will eat in the military chow hall, but sometimes we have to eat out in the field. In that case, warm chow is brought out in sealed containers. In some outstanding cases, we eat MREs to further immerse ourselves in military food.
I'm Private Jessica Monholland from Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'll be answering a question from Treg in Clinton, Maryland. He asked when he would be able to pick his first duty station. When you first get here in your initial entry, you get to pick a few places on your wish list, but where you actually go, you have absolutely no control over, and the Army will pick all that for you, and you don't actually have to worry about that.